This is a Leitmotif and Movement podcast, a father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I am your host, Mike Ficklin, and joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We will mainly be discussing the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We will also from time to time dive into film and video game scores, and we'll sprinkle in some surprises along the way. And speaking of surprises, here we are with our fourth bonus episode. This time, we got the chance to check out the brand new release from Night of the Round titled Refractions. And I am so honored that they allowed us to go ahead and check this out in advance so we could provide a little advance review here. The new Night of the Round release, Refractions, releases on April 25th. You can pre-order the record on vinyl, CD, and digital by visiting their Bandcamp page, nightoftheround.bandcamp.com. I got an opportunity to listen to another podcast that Night of the Round appeared on here over the last couple of weeks, and they provided a little bit of background on the process of putting this record together. The podcast I heard this on was the Nerd Music Meltdown podcast, and I highly recommend it. It was an excellent listen. During that podcast, they mentioned that they had decided to take a break from the thematic albums and have a little more fun with this one. They had been playing a few of these songs live over the last couple of years, kind of working them out in front of a live crowd to try and gauge audience reactions to the songs, and decided to go ahead and get in the studio and get these recorded. So without further ado, we're going to get into our track-by-track analysis. We start with track number 1. This is Horrors of the Night from Final Fantasy XV, originally composed by Yoko Shimomura, and this song plays during boss battles involving demons. Michael, what do you have on this one?
I like how they did the opening and how it just works well.
Yeah, the original version of this song, as composed by Yoko Shimomura, has a big, epic feel. You're in for the fight of your life.
Yeah,
It's super intense and evocative of the stakes. And Night of the Round does a really good job with their arrangement of this song.
definitely.
It still maintains that epic and intense feel. The distorted guitars, in my mind, make this feel even more urgent and fearsome. I think this arrangement of the song would be amazing if actually incorporated into the game.
I feel that the guitars and drums just work so well with this song.
Yeah, speaking of the drums really on this entire record are fantastic.
Yes.
Thundering, especially that kick drum. Michael, anything else on track number 1 before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. So we're on to track number 2. This is Torn from the Heavens from Final Fantasy XIV, originally composed by Masayoshi Soken. And this is used as a Fate theme and also used as a recurring leitmotif to represent a realm reborn. It also features as a boss theme during the second phase of the fight against, I believe it's pronounced La Habrea, in a solo quest battle in The Ultimate Weapon.
I've heard
The
the
band
leitmotif
I'm sorry?
word. I've heard leitmotif before.
Yes, indeed. Every episode, in fact. Apparently, Night of the Round heard this song played live at one of the Distant Worlds concerts, and Justin really felt the music for the first time. He felt like he could arrange it, so he worked this one out. Michael, what do you have on this?
I love how it comes out strong, and I love the middle with that guitar solo.
Yes.
That's amazing, and also the end.
Yes.
I like on the song.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks, if not my favorite track from the Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn soundtrack. It's a combination of beautiful melody and urgency. It takes you on an adventure. I love the incorporation of the Final Fantasy Prelude arpeggio in this song, and Night of the Round's interpretation of this song is extremely faithful, right down to the incorporation of that Final Fantasy Prelude arpeggio. Where it lacks in the subtle beauty of the original strings arrangement, it more than makes up for in intensity with
Yes.
those distorted guitars and thundering drums. I'm really impressed with Night of the Round's arrangement. It goes absolutely hard as hell. The guitar work on this track is outstanding.
Yeah. It's just outstanding.
Michael, do you have anything else on this one?
Nope.
Okay. We'll move right along to track number 3. This is Swords of Fury from Final Fantasy IX, originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu. Michael, this one plays at the beginning of the play in Final Fantasy IX and also while fighting King Leo. What do you have on this one?
I like the beginning of it, and because of the guitar at the beginning, that the guitar just works good. I like how they basically mixed everything so perfectly on the song.
Yes, dude. Out of curiosity, did you take the opportunity to listen to both the original version of the song and Night of the Rounds version of the song?
I had went down like the list, but I had listened to all the original songs, and
And
then
then all the
yeah,
original or all the Night of the Round
yes,
versions? Yeah, so I did that also, but then I went in and also decided to listen to them back to back. So I listened to the original version and then Night of the Rounds version to try to get a feel for a comparison, and it really helped a lot in drawing my conclusions on these songs. For me, with Swords of Fury, I felt like this is a really interesting song to choose to do a metal arrangement of. When I think of this song, I always think of it as being the overture to a musical or a play, which is fitting considering its usage at the beginning of the play in Final Fantasy IX. I'll say this: Night of the Round's arrangement of the opening to this song is super bombastic. It's really heavy. And in my opinion, where Night of the Round really shines with their arrangement, though, is when the song takes its turn towards feeling like a combat theme. The guitar work during the more up-tempo parts of the song is just killer. Also, I again want to compliment the drum work on this song. They come through loud and thundering, especially that kick drum. So we will move right along to track number 4. This is Battle from Final Fantasy VI, originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu. This song is the main battle theme from Final Fantasy VI. Michael, what do you have on this one?
just classic.
Classic?
I love the battle themes in every Final Fantasy game I've played.
Yeah, they always have a sense of tension and excitement.
Uh,
I have a deep love for anything from Final Fantasy VI. Nobuo Uematsu's soundtrack is huge and sweeping. It's an absolute masterpiece. This, the main battle theme from the game, is instantly one of the most identifiable songs from the soundtrack since you hear it so much. It has a sense of urgency and danger to it. It's really well suited to the action of the random battles. Night of the Round's arrangement of this song ratchets up the intensity. There's a ferociousness that gets brought out with the usage of the double kick drums and just those heavily distorted, down-tuned guitars. I do think that some of the nuance to Uematsu's original arrangement is lost, but that doesn't make this a bad take at all. Night of the Round does a good job of making this their own.
it's just amazing that they could like transfer this into guitar work and drum work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always thoroughly impressed with their ability, especially with taking songs from the early games in the series and kind of taking those those chip tune soundtracks and able to convert them into these heavy metal songs, right? It's always interesting.
Yes.
They do a really good job with it. Michael, anything else on Battle?
Nope.
Okay. So we're off to track number 5. This is Combat from Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. It was originally composed by Takaharu Ishimoto, Nobuo Uematsu, Yoshihiko Nishio, and Ayaka Ida. This song usually plays during some battles. Night of the Round had tried to do arrangements for songs from Crisis Core before, but felt it didn't really translate well. They felt that the few original songs on the soundtrack were bad. However, Adam gave this a shot and came up with this arrangement, and the band loved it. So with that said, Michael, what do you have on this?
I like the fading at the beginning, fading in. I find that really cool. And I like the guitar work and drum work. I just like how they can transfer stuff into what uh like guitar work.
Yeah, you're talking about like translating from the original to the guitar and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. From like beautiful
Yeah.
composed to crazy
I
guitar.
agree with you. You know, honestly, I'm not a big fan of the soundtrack to Crisis Core. It's okay. To me, it's not really all that memorable. It's a lot of, generic industrial metal sounding music. So I really don't have much affinity for the original arrangement of this song at all. I will say this. In comes Night of the Round and their take on this song. I have to say I actually prefer Night of the Round's arrangement to the original. Gone are all the synths and effects that made this song sound like a Nine Inch Nails or Ministry ripoff. There is some light synth work, but it's not nearly as overwhelming as the original soundtrack arrangement. Night of the Round absolutely nails this song. It goes hard as hell. I would actually prefer this song in the game than the original version, so.
That much hate.
I just don't really appreciate the original soundtrack very much, so give me a Night of the Round soundtrack instead.
Dang.
Michael, anything else on Combat?
Nope.
Okay. Moving right along to track number 6. This is Tower of the Magi from Final Fantasy II, again originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu. This song plays during the party's trip through the Mysidian Tower. Michael, what do you have on this one?
I like this song because it sounds just amazing. The guitar work, the drum work. I can't comment so much on the guitar work and drum work. It's just amazing. There's not enough words in the English dictionary to compliment the guitar work.
Describe how much you like it. Yeah.
And drum work.
Yeah, this track is one of my favorites from the Final Fantasy II score. I love the organ usage on the original composition. It gives the song an overall haunting, chilling vibe. It's almost like something you might hear playing in a vampire film when the heroes enter the castle abode of the vampire. It's kind of dark and gothic. And Night of the Round's arrangement takes this song to a sludgy, heavy level. There's some really solid guitar work on this one. I do feel like Night of the Round's arrangement lacks a bit behind the original due to the lack of the organ. But the organ, in my mind, makes this song so creepy and supernatural. That's not to say that Night of the Round's arrangement is bad at all. There's some really outstanding musicianship on this. It's just not the same without that organ, in my opinion. So we'll move right along to track number 7. This is Lunatic Pandora from Final Fantasy VIII, originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu. And this is the theme of the Lunatic Pandora in Final Fantasy VIII. Michael, what do you have on this one?
Like say, I wish I could have played the games before talking about this on the podcast, but I didn't have enough time to play out all the games and get to the music where it is, and I feel like I could have had more to say.
What you have is fine. I think you're coming at this from a purely musical perspective since you don't have the context to go with it. You do have the context of listening to the original versions of these songs.
But it's probably better to see it like visually.
I mean, it definitely is. It's kind of like listening to a film score, but not really understanding why the score works so well, right? Because you don't have the context of actually having seen the film. I get it. I get it. This is something that you and I really need to do together, is go through these Final Fantasy games. I really think you would enjoy them. And I'm a massive Final Fantasy nut, if folks haven't caught on to that already.
Well, you've called Nobuo the master a few times.
That's because he is. Yeah, this original composition of Lunatic Pandora is one of my favorites from the Final Fantasy VIII score. Uematsu's arrangement gives it a very cold, sci-fi feel, heavy use of keyboards and synths. It's the perfect theme for the locale that is its namesake. Night of the Round takes the song and makes it feel darker and more horrific. I really love their arrangement. This arrangement would feel right at home in like a horror film. There's an intensity and a feeling of unease. It never lets you get comfortable. Outstanding work by Night of the Round on taking this song and making it something all their own. Michael, have you got anything else on this one?
Nope.
Okay. Moving right along to track number 8. This is Lurking in the Darkness from Final Fantasy VII, originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu. This song plays at the plate interior and in several underground areas. It also plays in the Icicle Cave in Gaia's Cliffs in the game. Michael, what do you have on this one?
I like the instruments on this song, and like I said before, I wish I was able to play the games before. The furthest I've gotten in Final Fantasy VII is like past the first part, like the first mission.
Not very far.
Yeah, no.
We'll have to fix that sometime, man. I'm telling you, you'll love these games. I always thought of the original arrangement of this song as something that would fit well in like a noir detective mystery film. This feels like the kind of song that you would hear as the detective sneaks around and does his investigation. That's essentially what's happening in-game when we hear this in Final Fantasy VII. Our heroes are sneaking around the interior of the plate, trying to infiltrate the Shinra Tower. Night of the Round's arrangement of the song takes all the subtlety out of it. It becomes more of an intense and heavy song. I could see this version of the song playing during a fight in a film. I really love the guitar work on this arrangement. The drum work is absolutely thundering. In my opinion, it almost has the flavor of like a Pantera-esque groove metal sound. All right, so we'll move right along to track number 9. This is The Mission from Final Fantasy VIII, originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu. This song plays during the Forest Owls train mission and also during the Chaos in Balam Garden. Michael, what do you have on this one?
I like the guitar work and drums. It's really the only thing I can really give, and that's I'm kind of disappointed, but
Disappointed as far as?
at myself for not being able to give more.
You mean just because you don't have the proper context?
Yeah,
I get it.
and other things
And other things?
like playing the game and
Yeah. You just don't have the context of the story from the game or where these songs originally played at. I get it. You're doing a good job. The original arrangement of the song always puts me right into the action of Final Fantasy VIII. I can always visualize exactly what's going on when this music plays. There's an unease and urgency to it. We are out to complete a mission with high stakes, no matter the cost. It's very suspenseful. Night of the Round's arrangement of this song is fantastic. Despite the heavy, distorted sound of the guitars, they absolutely nail the nuance of the original. There's some really excellent guitar work on this song. I'm always impressed when Night of the Round is able to nail complex compositions. They absolutely understood the assignment here. Outstanding adaptation. Okay, so we're on to the final song of the record. This is track number 10. This is Kingdom of Bermesia from Final Fantasy IX, originally composed by the master Nobuo Uematsu, and this one plays during the party's visit to Bermesia. Michael, what do you have on this?
I like the opening, and I like how it gets into the guitar. It's just nice, like how they do it.
Yeah, the Night of the Round's arrangement is really well done.
And I also like how it starts to build up to that towards the end to the like upbeat, more upbeat guitar work and drum work.
Yep, they do a good job with that. I love Uematsu's original composition for this theme. There's a sense of wonder, but also a sense of haunting dread to it. In Bermesia, it is perpetually raining, so, it's always raining there. And in the party's visit to the kingdom, they find it has been destroyed. The kingdom has suffered heavy losses. This song fits the somber mood of the story. So I love that Night of the Round's version of this song begins with the sound of rain. They use a clean-sounding guitar to set up the opening to the song. They also utilize some synths and a choir to build up the chilling feeling of dread. Then we break into the song proper and we get a very sludgy metal arrangement of the song. It's meant to evoke that same sense of hopelessness and loss that Uematsu's original arrangement does. I feel like Night of the Round does quite a good job with their take on this song. It's definitely one of my favorites on the record by far. Michael, anything else on this one?
Nope.
Okay. So, with that, we will move into giving our final thoughts and our album rankings. Michael, let's go ahead and start with you.
I liked listening to this. Like I said, I wish I was able to listen to play the games first, and before listening to the album, but that is okay. This album's amazing, good adaptation of the original. I'm gonna say this gets a 5 out of 5.
Michael gives it a 5 out of 5. High praise for Night of the Round, especially for not having all the context for where these songs come from. Glad you really enjoyed this, Michael. For me, Night of the Round never disappoints. They have a gift for taking the original music from the various Final Fantasy soundtracks and rearranging them to give them a metal edge. Their love for the Final Fantasy series shines through once again with this record. I'm always impressed with their ability to take complex pieces from Uematsu in particular and make those pieces something all their own, while, for the most part, retaining the essence of the original songs. Songs like Lunatic Pandora from Final Fantasy VIII and Kingdom of Bermesia from Final Fantasy IX are great examples of this. Refractions is another outstanding entry in the Night of the Round catalog. If you love Final Fantasy and you love metal, you're gonna love this album. I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5. And that'll take us to our question for the audience. What is your favorite track on Refractions and why? With that said, we do want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request: keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. We are a part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Check out all of the podcasts on the network by visiting spdmcrew.com.
If you liked the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We are also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us be found in the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout.
We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif and Movement podcast.
Take care and enjoy music.